The roasting's not done yet, folks. And yes, I know I'm giving the iPhone X a pretty hard time here. I think it's kind of justified from the announcement last week, and you know how iPhone fans are. You know they cannot wait to brag about the latest and greatest smartphone that they have. You know how they're gonna be walking right out of that Apple store with that Vince McMahon strut, those skinny jeans, and that superiority complex that they have, and they can't wait to come up to you and brag about it. But I'm gonna arm you here with 5 reasons. That's right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 reasons why not to buy the iPhone X. And we're gonna start off with the first reason, and that is that display notch. I mean, seriously, who designed this phone? Anthony Davis? I mean, I don't get it here. To put that notch in front of a beautiful AMOLED display that they're putting into this smartphone and hindering it is just absolutely ridiculous. There's absolutely no way possible Steve Jobs would have allowed this phone to exist. If somebody walked up with this sort of design and showed that notch right there, they probably fired that guy right on the spot because it's absolutely ridiculous. And there are people trying to defend this. And yes, I understand all the technology of the front-facing camera, everything needed to make Face ID function the way it's supposed to is within there. But they could have figured out a way to put that in there by just extending the bezel just a little bit and not interfere with the display, not interfere with the viewing experience. Yes, I know you can design around it through software, the developers can. Yes, I know you can crop video around it so you don't see it there. But when I have a phone and I have a display, I want to use the whole display. I don't want to have any limitations with that. I mean, think about this. Let's go back to 2014. There's a phone called the HTC Desire I. That phone had a 13 megapixel front facing camera, a massive camera in front of it. And they were able to design that camera in the bezel, in the front, and not interfere with the display experience on a smartphone. And you mean to tell me with Apple and its infinite amount of cash and its infinite resources to engineers and designers cannot figure that out? Really? I mean, come on. I cannot give him an excuse for this. That should have been done. You don't have to be in the bezel-less race with everyone. Add a little bit more bezel, that's fine. Find a way to maybe add some gestures to the bezel, be a little bit different. Look at HTC and what they did with sort of the squeeze sort of technology on the U11. I know it might be a little bit gimmicky, might not be the best thing, but it's at least an idea or a thought. And I know Apple and their designers and their think tank can think of some really clever ways to do it and make it work very well if they wanted to. We don't have to be in a bezel-less race, but that display notch, absolutely no excuse for it being there. It completely makes the phone more unattractive. Like, it's just ridiculous there. So that's number 1 here. Let's jump off of that. Let's jump into number 2. And I won't spend that much time on this because I've already got a video about this, and it's the fact that you have to pay about 85 bucks to get fast charging on your iPhone X and on your iPhone 8 as well too. Yes, there's going to be third-party chargers available. I'll quickly say that. We will definitely do video on those as we get our hands on those as we go through our iPhone coverage here for this year. But the fact that Apple is not including that in the box right with the experience is ridiculous, and considering that every single other carrier, every single other manufacturer includes this in there with it, and no extra charge. It's just absolutely ridiculous that Apple doesn't do that. Let me get off of that. Watch that rant video. You'll hear my whole thoughts on that. So let's go ahead and just jump to number 3 here. The third reason. The phone is actually less secure. The iPhone X is actually less secure because they removed Touch ID. They've given you one less security option here with it. Now, I understand Face ID is where they want you to go. They're calling that the future. And we've seen this sort of technology before on Android devices, but it seems like they have sort of souped it up and made it better. All those cameras, all the neuron engines and all that stuff, blah, blah, blah. But we don't know how well this is gonna work in real world use just yet. And some people may not want to use their face to unlock their phone. So the only other option that they have is to basically use a PIN code passcode. They don't have a fingerprint sensor option. Another thing with the camera as well too, actually, the funny thing is, Devin McCourty of the New England Patriots brought this up. He has a twin that also plays the NFL. And he's kind of like, how do I prevent my identical twin from unlocking my phone? Especially with Face ID, your iPhone X. I wonder how well that's gonna work out there. Maybe it's that advanced and they can figure out the difference between twins that well. It can really do it. It'd be pretty interesting to see if it can. I'll give it credit if it does. We're not quite sure yet, but who really knows just so far. But to limit the number of security options just doesn't make any sense, especially when you have companies like, well, I'll point to Samsung here that gives you a plethora of options and really tells you, it gives you plethora of options to secure your phone. And your phone is your daily computing device. It has everything, all your personal data, information, and things that you need to get through your daily life for most people out there. And you want to have that as secure as possible. And to remove security options, especially when you can make it very easily put that fingerprint sensor on the back of the phone where I think it naturally belongs and add a security feature and keep that going, to remove it is just absolutely ridiculous. And I think that's something that's really, really not good for Apple to sort of do that there. And another thing, going back into sort of removing that button there and the Touch ID, they could have did something similar to the SA and kind of put that haptic edge in there to give you the feel of a button when you press down on the screen. I know somebody would say copy, but that's fine. It's kind of a cool idea. Some people do like having that there. I know next year we're probably going to be getting the displays that can have the fingerprint sensor underneath it. So they could have easily, for now, just made a stopgap and put it right on the back of the phone. It doesn't make any sense. I never like when they remove security options and don't give you as many as possible there. So that's number 3 there. Let's go into number 4. Number four is easy. It is the lack of a headphone jack. Yes, I understand that they include an adapter, but I think it's ridiculous that you have to use an adapter, and especially if you forget that adapter, unless you have headphones that plug in natively into the lightning port, you're kind of out of luck unless you have some type of Bluetooth solution to use with your phone. And this is coming from an iPhone, which has always touted itself as being the best and ultimate entertainment device. So, specifically something that's tied to iTunes, Apple Music, and the movies and things like that. To not have something native with a 3.5mm headphone jack built in, which what everyone can use, especially if they have some premium headphones they want to use, it's just simply ridiculous. And I'm always going to knock them for this. Accessorizing things like this is just kind of crazy here. I mean, you can put it into a world, and this is a whacked out idea. I'm not saying this is going to happen. I'm just saying something in theory that could possibly happen. If you think about this, the iPhone 8 and the iPhone 10 now have wireless charging into them. Theoretically, Apple could completely seal off the phone and include no ports, include a wireless charger, and make that the only option of way you charge your phone. And anything else you want to do with it, you have to do wirelessly, and you essentially have to do that using either their accessories or third-party accessories, completely blocking any type of ports or stuff like that. I know that is a ridiculous idea, and I don't think they're going to do it. But I just want to put that theory out there, as that could be a possibility. Maybe somewhere in some really dystopian world, something like that. It'd be ridiculous, but I just want to put thoughts out there. Accessorizing things like this, what they're doing with the charging, fast charging, and what they're doing with the headphones here is just kind of ridiculous, I think, in my view. And let's get into number 5 here to wrap things up, and that is the storage options. The fact that the base model is $1,000 and it's only 64 gigs of storage is absolutely ridiculous, considering this thing has a 4K 60 frames per second of video capabilities, and you have dual 12 megapixel cameras. These pictures and images are going to be large. Apps are always kind of big with iOS as well too. To have 64 gigs, which somebody's going to buy this iPhone 10, it's probably going to be more of a power user. That's just ridiculous. It should have a minimum of 128 gigabytes to 256 gigabytes in the next model. That's the way it should be. You're kind of forcing people that are power users to spend the near $1,200 to get the bigger phone just so they have enough storage space available to them. There should be more options there. I think they're kind of screwing over the customers there. And that's sort of why I'm going over these 5 reasons why not to buy the iPhone. I want to kind of inform the Apple consumers out there so that they kind of look at Apple and say, hey, we don't like these things here, and we want you to change these things. And the best way you can obviously get your word across to a lot of these companies, well, 1, you can always give them feedback, and 2, you can always choose with your wallet and where you spend your money, and that will always make them change. If you're not spending money on these iPhones, on the new iPhones here, they'll get the hint, change some things around maybe for you guys to give you a better experience. But Apple fans should not be taking these type of things really lightly. They should be getting a great experience, especially for the money that they pay for it. I understand it's Apple tax, but Apple tax should screw you over, especially when there's so many other companies that offer these same features and same things that I've talked about included in the package. So that's my 5 reasons. If you have any other reasons, questions, comments, concerns, please post them below. Thank you for watching, and always remember to live your tech world in high definition.